Going through an airport with a police officer, like the looks you get. So I get into airport jail, and airport jail is honestly, Hi guys. So today I'm going to be sharing a video that, oops, I'm in a story, you know. A video that happened to me 3 years ago in about a week. So in about a week, it'll be 3 years since this has happened. So I kind of just thought right now would be the perfect time to tell you guys this very funny, interesting story that happened to me when I was 17. Yeah, my name is Lotus Mesic. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you guys leave a like because it helps this channel grow way more than you actually think. It means way more than just like, and hit that subscribe button. I would actually appreciate it way more than you know. But with that being said, let's get into today's video.
Paid in full, pockets on extra swole. On the island is where I blow the checks though. All summer, baby.
So 3 years ago at 17, I went traveling for the first time alone. Not fully alone, but I went with my friends. That was the first time I was flying without an adult though. As you would think, something obviously went wrong. And clearly by the title of this video, you already know what happened. I was 17 at the time going traveling. I was traveling to Toronto. I had two friends there already that I was meeting up with. So I was flying with one of my friends, Emily, and we had another friend flying the next day who was coming right after us, and we were all meeting up in Toronto. Me and Emily went to the airport. I don't know, it was a red-eye flight. Like, I think it was like an 11:30 flight, and I live in Vancouver, Canada. And to get to Toronto, it takes about 5 hours. I get into the YVR airport, everything is all good. I go make my way to Toronto, get on that flight, everything's all good. The next morning, I wake up in Toronto with my bags, me and Emily with our bags, and we're getting off this flight. We're going to get a cab. So if you guys aren't too familiar about Toronto, the airport, I think it's like an hour away. It's in Mississauga. So yeah, it's like about an hour away from downtown central Toronto. So keep in mind, it's fucking very early in the morning, like 5 a.m. we're getting off this flight, and we're trying to get a cab, and our first time in Toronto with no parents, nothing. And I've traveled now multiple times alone and with my friends, and I feel like just traveling at such a young age, shit is bound to go sideways. Every single time I've traveled with my friends, some shit has always happened. And even traveling alone, it's happened less, but definitely has happened as well. So I don't know, I think it's maybe just like an adulting thing, like it just comes with the experience of traveling. I guess, I'm not too sure. Anyways, so we're getting into this cab at like 5 in the morning. We're driving into Toronto, and we arrive at a hotel because we were going into a hotel for the day until our Airbnb was ready. And I went to go pay for the cab, and I couldn't find my wallet. And honestly, lucky for me that I thought that through, because I put $1,000 cash in my suitcase just in case I were to lose my wallet, which I did. Whatever, I paid for the cab with cash. I go upstairs, tear apart my bag, tear apart my suitcase. Like, my wallet is nowhere to be found. And I was just like, fuck. My debit card, my fucking ID, my fake ID, some cash as well. Like, everything I kind of needed. But at the same time, I really didn't need anything because I was only 17 and I had cash still. And I had my passport with me, so I really didn't need anything, but still I was kind of mad that I lost my wallet, you know? Like, fuck, I'm going on a trip and the first thing that happens to me is I lose my wallet. Like, that kind of fucking sucks. That is also the same shit that would happen to me, so now me being 20 years old, like, it all makes sense why this happens to me because this is just like the way my life works. But then, like, being so, like, fresh to craziness was not, I didn't process it like how I would now. Anyways, so I tear the fucking suitcase up and whatnot. No wallet to be found, so I was like, fuck, I hope I didn't leave it on the plane, you know? Like, I slept on the plane, of course. It was a red-eye flight. I slept through the flight. So I called the airline I was with, and they were like, oh, you gotta call back in a week. And I was just like, are you fucked? Like, are you actually fucked? If it was on that flight, wouldn't you know? You know? That was obviously not helpful, so I called the airport security, and no, wasn't found in the lost and found. So for the first day, I had no clue where this wallet was. The next day, I called the airport again, Vancouver airport and Toronto airport, because I obviously don't know where I left it. And I spoke to the Vancouver airport, and they were like, oh yeah, the RCMP has your wallet. And I was like, fuck. Because if the lost and found didn't have it and the RCMP has it, like, you know, yikes. The RCMP is the police, but for the suburbs. So, obviously my fake ID was in the wallet, right next to my real ID as well. So, as soon as they said that, I was just like, fuck. Okay, well, that's just the end of the wallet. I'm not gonna get it from the RCMP, why would I do that? Fuck that, I was scared of them. I was 17, and I knew I knew they knew that I had a fake ID. My real ID was right in there, and they're police. Like, obviously, they're not dumb as fuck. They know. That's their job to know. So whatever. I had my passport. I went to the bank. I got a new debit card because I'm still in Canada. So that was fine. I didn't care about my wallet. It wasn't even a nice wallet then. I definitely didn't have a bougie wallet. Like, literally gave no fucks about the wallet. The fucking following day, I get a call from a blocked number. So I answer the phone because it's a blocked number. I had no clue who it is. And I was like, hello? And they started talking to me. And they're like, this is the RCMP from Vancouver. Just keep this in the back of your head. I was talking to the sheriff and it was a guy. It's not important yet, but it will be later on. Hello? And they started talking to me. And they're like, this is the RCMP from Vancouver. We have your wallet. And they're like, do you want to explain what's in here? And I was like, I don't even remember what I said. But basically we got to the conclusion very, very quickly that I had a fake ID. And they obviously knew that. And they were like, okay, well, when you come to Vancouver, you're going to have to come and meet us. And I was like, okay, sure. And in my head, I was like, fuck no, baby. I was not going to meet them. There's no way I'm just going to go meet these cops. I was so scared. I was like, no. I thought I was going to go to jail if I met up with those people. Like, seriously, I'm not even joking. I was 17 at the time too, so like, you know. So the whole time I was in Toronto, I was like, obviously thinking about it, and it kind of just ruined my vibe when I was there, but it was fine. I also had another fake ID in my suitcase with me, so that never even was an issue. Did you guys hear that? Like, that's my back always. So, also, sorry, that squeaking is my chair. This thing, you know? So lucky for me, I had another fake ID in my suitcase, but when I was coming back to Vancouver, I remember I was on that flight to Toronto, from Toronto to Vancouver. Also, this time I was flying alone because shit went down in Toronto and my friends had to fly back home. That whole trip was kind of just a mess now thinking about it, but I was 17, so it was pretty lit. Like, I was going into grade 12 and I got to go traveling alone with my friends. So that was pretty sick. So I was just like living my life. I obviously didn't even care at that time. But now thinking about it, like, wow, what a mess that trip really was. So anyways, I remember I was flying back to Vancouver and I was like, holy fuck. They're gonna be on the other side waiting for me. Waiting to arrest me. I was convinced that they were gonna be on the other side waiting for me. I'm 20 now. I'm about to turn 21, and I still look like I'm fucking 17 years old. Like, look at me. At least here in Canada, it's 19 and not 21. But anyways, yeah, I look so young is what I'm trying to say. Comment down below if I didn't tell you right now how old you guys would think I am, because maybe the way I present myself and the way I speak, I portray myself a lot more mature and a lot older. But I feel like by the way I look like a fucking teenager. I literally get like, I look like I'm 16, 17, and honestly for me it sucks because I look like a baby, and what do girls? They want men. Which is fine because honestly, I'm chillin' being single. I have no one to report to. No, I live alone too. Like what a fucking luxury lifestyle this is, and I don't take it for granted. I literally appreciate it every single day. Anyways, now I'm getting off track, but I was getting off this flight in Vancouver thinking the cops are gonna be waiting on the other side to arrest me. I went through and there was no one, and I was like, holy fuck, thank the lords. I was so fucking scared, you guys. Like, you don't even know. So I made it clear, and then 2 days go by and they call me again, and obviously I knew because it was a blocked number, don't answer it. So for like 2 or 3 weeks they were calling me, and I was obviously not answering because I was so scared. My thought process, I was like, holy fuck, they're gonna question me, they're gonna ask me where I got the fake ID from, they're gonna find the person who got it, I'm gonna get in trouble through that person. Like, this is just gonna be a fucking mess. So I was trying to avoid that at all costs. Hold on, I need some water. So I was trying to avoid that situation at all costs because obviously at 17 you don't want to deal with that. I don't know anyone even now who would want to deal with that situation because that's just fucked. And you can also get in a lot of trouble, probably identity fraud. I don't know. So for 2 or 3 weeks they were calling me and I wasn't answering, and then one day they called me and they left me a message and they're like, okay, you have like 48 hours to come to the airport, and if you don't come, we're just gonna come to your house. So at that point I was like, okay, I'm going to jail. Like seriously, the fact that I'm saying that now is so funny, but like that's literally what I was thinking 3 years ago. Like preparing myself to be like intervented in a room. Like I was like, I'm going to jail, I'm gonna get intervented, I'm gonna have to rat on everybody, you know? So fast forward 2 days. So obviously I had to go to the airport because I was like, no one is gonna find out about this in my family because they just didn't have to. not necessary at all. If you guys were 17, you would definitely want to think that same way. So fast forward 2 days, I go to the airport and I call them. They told me to like call them when I'm there and they'll meet me somewhere. I was like, fuck, okay. Now this is where it gets interesting. So I call them and I remember I waited 45 minutes in this one spot waiting for these police officers to come, and I see this woman cop walk into the airport. I was like, okay, she's here for me. I just approach her. She approaches me and she was like, hi, you're Lotus. I was like, yep. She's like, okay, come with me. And now this is where I go into airport jail. Nice. I was in airport jail at 17 years old. Like,
honestly, goals.
so she's just talking to me the whole time. She was very nice, actually. I remember being very impressed by her because obviously coming into the situation, as I've mentioned 100 times now, I was fucking scared. And I remember being so like impressed that she was so nice. But she was just asking me some things, like personal questions, not about the deed yet. And we're just walking for like 15 minutes, I remember. And like going through an airport with a police officer by your side, like the looks you get are funny. You're either someone or you've done something. And unfortunately for me at that point, I did something. I wasn't someone yet. I'm about to be though. I'm still no one yet, but yo, you guys, I'm in 2-3 years, I actually think I'm gonna be fucking huge on this platform. So yeah, you can just imagine the looks I was getting walking through the fucking airport with a police officer. Like imagine looking in the airport and there's a 17-year-old kid who also probably looks 13 at that time. I definitely did. Imagine looking over and you see this fucking kid who's like clearly such a minor walking through the fucking airport with the police officer. Like, so many like questionable thoughts going through your head and what you're witnessing in that moment. So many funny, interesting looks. I remember I was just like, holy fuck. So we're like walking through the airport and we go underground and we go into airport jail. Nice. So I get into airport jail, and airport jail is honestly, it's pretty cool. Like, it's not what you would expect. It's not like a jail. It's literally just like, I can't even explain it. Like, in my head, I'm picturing it so well right now. Okay, wait, it was basically one room, and there was just like doors, and they were probably just like police offices or like police officer offices. I was just waited in like the waiting area kinda, and she was like, okay, just sit here. And I was like, okay. And then maybe like 5-10 minutes come by, and then she comes back and she was like, okay, come with me now. And we go into jail. And at this point I was so scared, but I was so glad it was still the one officer. You guys, I'd be fucking even more terrified if it was 2 officers. And like, I was blessed that the one officer I had was a woman, because you know, women are just a little bit more nicer. That's just the facts. I'm like this little cute little kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, women will be nicer, like, you know? So I was blessed for that. And so I go into this room with her, and she basically was just like, okay, you just need to sign this form. She's like basically saying, I'm just gonna take your ID. And what was the word she used? I'll never forget the word she used. Well, except for right now. Damn, my phone is just blowing up right now. What is happening? What the fuck is the word? It's not taking it away, it's, I'm searching up synonym for destroy. This is literally taking me 5 minutes right now to find this word that she used. I can't find it right now, the word that she said, but basically she was just like, when you sign this form, it basically means that we're confiscating your ID and we're destroying it. She didn't say destroy, but she used a synonym for like, it's gonna be taken out of this world. You know? And I was like, okay. And I just signed it like that. And just like that, it was done. And she was like, okay, thank you. And then she walked me out back to like the SkyTrain area, because I used to take the train then. And obviously people were looking at me again, but yeah.
So basically I was scared of nothing, and they literally found it because I dropped it boarding my flight, and I dropped it in the waiting area. Also, in the whole video, my recycling is right there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but
that was it. All my worries were gone, and they were just lifted from signing that one paper, and it was actually so chill. Like,
also the fact that this happened to me and the way I got out of it is like the most me situation to be ever in.
Definitely don't want to go back there, because fuck no. But yeah, that's the story time of how I ended up in airport jail when I was 17 years old. Sorry I clickbaited you guys, but I didn't even really. I did, but I didn't. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because as I mentioned earlier, and I've mentioned many times, leaving a like means way more than actually just a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and it helps me grow so this video is shown on other places. And if you guys hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate that. So my name is Lotus Mesic. If you guys are new to this channel, please do that. That was my story time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. Peace out. Hit me up on Instagram too, say what's good. Yeah, my Instagram's Lotus Mesic. All social platforms are Lotus Mesic. But yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.